picking up on people's storylines about feeling like she's her big fear of car, 100% me. That is my story. That is not her story. I have Facebook posts that you could go back and read about my anxiety in a car. This has happened with her relationship with her and my mom. Never called and texted her to check on her. Wouldn't answer my mom's text over and over and over again. Phone calls. My mom would talk to my sister about it. It was a big, major ordeal. Hurry to leave to go get the food in bingo. There's no way she could use the bathroom at my mom's house. My mom did lie years and years and years ago about having cancer.
Hello, everybody. It's me. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Aunt Tammy's, Hans Christian Pookie Reid's aunt, all-new tell-all interview with Oh Lordy, It's Jordy. His video is going to be linked down below in my description box. So basically, Aunt Tammy has decided to spill very outrageous new information on Amber's family and has also accused Amber of being a manipulator. Well, we know that she manipulates, but deeper than that. So Tammy is accusing Amber of stealing her own stories. She's accusing Amber of saying that she has all this car anxiety when it's Tammy that has the car anxiety, and that's where Amber supposedly got the story about the car anxiety. Also, Amber has all this medicine anxiety, and Tammy is saying that she stole that whole personality trait, that whole story from Tammy. My opinion on this real quick, we're going to go deeper into it. Of course, I believe that Amber stole Aunt Tammy's whole personality because Aunt Tammy is just one of many, many, many people that Hans Christian Pookie Reid is stealing from. I think that Amber doesn't know who she is herself. And Amber has actually said that before. It's not just my opinion. Amber has said that she doesn't know who she really is. So she takes bits and pieces from other people's personalities, in my opinion, and tries to pretend that that's really her. Okay? I don't think so. Amber has stolen coming out stories from Casey before. She has stolen many different facets of other people's personality before. So Tammy also accuses Amber's mom and Amber of never calling grandma when grandma was very ill. Do I believe that? 100% I do. As far as Amber's concerned, I really don't care what Amber's mommy does, okay? This video is not really about Amber's mommy, although she does get an honorable mention. It's mainly about what's going on in the family. But do I think that Amber doesn't care about her grandma? Yeah, they've always had a bad relationship. Grandma kicked her out when she was 18, and they even got into a fight together on Amber's birthday. I think Amber has been lying for years about this good relationship with her grandma that, in my opinion, she just doesn't have. So do I think that Amber just doesn't need her grandma? She only needs a free Uber, also known as mommy. So yeah, I agree with Aunt Tammy. Of course, Amber doesn't care, in my opinion, that grandma's sick. You can't do anything for Amber, so she doesn't care about you. That's my opinion. And deeper than that, as long as she has her free Uber, I don't think she cares about anything else. You really should have visited your grandma no matter what and talked to her when she's ill. Okay, we're going to get deeper into this. Everything I'm saying is just for entertainment purposes only. I'm sharing my opinions, not facts, and publicly accessible information. First made public by public figures. Please don't go to these people's channels and leave mean-spirited comments. Entertainment purposes only.
To answer your question about the phone, it is true. I turned off my mom's phone. The reason why I did it is because I just got my mom a new phone. Got it all hooked up for her because she was constantly having problems with, her like real cheap phone that she had. And I was trying to bring her up to speed kind of thing. And then she was just going to pay me monthly for the service and insurance on it. And that didn't even last a month. So it was started on the 14th of last month. And so when everything happened, I'm 100% positive that this is the right decision for me. And so when the disowned statement, it is true for me on my side, 100%. I never want to talk to any of them again, but I will continue talking about them until I feel I've talked enough, because it has been kind of therapeutic in a weird kind of way. And I have gotten a lot of support and different perspectives. And I can't express how overwhelming it gets at times to hear people understand and can put themselves in my place, because I haven't had that in a long time. So, there's sometimes that I watch some reactions, and when they're just getting it, they're absolutely getting it. You guys make so many comments that I'm just like, oh, wow, not only am I being heard, but I'm being understood. So I don't know when this will all end for me, but I know it's not anytime real soon, especially since her mouth keeps wanting to talk and talk the crap that she talks. So back to the phone thing, that's why I chose to do that.
What an interesting development. So Amber Reid decided to leave out a big portion of the story that Tammy had turned off her mommy's phone because she was getting her a new one. Amber, why did you decide to leave out the biggest part of the story? This right here. Honestly, we could stop right here, but we won't. That right there explains to you exactly who Hans Christian Pookie Reid is. She takes a detail that sounds bad, but fits her narrative that Tammy is such a bad daughter. Yeah, maybe we should talk about what kind of daughter Christine is. You don't want me to bring that up because I've tried to be as respectful as possible. I'm going to continue that for now, today, because the things that Christine did to mommy is a little bit worse than what Tammy did to mommy. Doesn't everybody here agree? We all remember what Christine did. Amber, why don't you just refer back to your own videos on YouTube for the last 10 years where you can check out what you said about your mom. Fun fact, you know what I just recently discovered? I had no idea this had even happened. I was watching a video, I don't remember by who. I think maybe it was Mr. Snowflake. Guess what I found out? Amber went years ago and said that her mommy had to do certain things to get certain things. That's not surprising. A lot of people that are in trouble have to do certain things to get certain things, okay? Amber, why did you think it was appropriate for you to expose your mom on the internet like that? Why did you think that was okay? If I were you, I would focus on what mommy did to your grandma, which is why she was incarcerated. And I would quit while you're ahead, Pookie. My point here is this. She takes a detail, okay, that sounds bad. For example, Tammy turned off her mother's phone. Yes, she did. But you notice how she doesn't tell you the most important part, which is Tammy only turned it off because she got her a new line. She got her a new phone. Unbelievable, Amber. She misled you, how she manipulated you. Now, obviously, if Tammy doesn't want to pay for her mommy's phone anymore, hey, let Christine do it. Or better yet, let the person that's earning $20,000, $15,000 a month, Hans Christian Pookie Reid, do it. Amber, why don't you just go pay your grandma's phone, do something for her after you charge her $300, as we found out last time, to mail her a dream catcher? Why don't you just pay for your mom's phone? Anyways, my point is this. Not only did she mislead you with a giant detail that made all the difference about what actually happened with the phone, but deeper than that, if Tammy is no longer speaking to her mother, why does she have to pay her phone? Amber, you're besties with grandma, which is a lot. You told us you're besties with her, but it's not true. I don't think she likes you. My opinion, not a fact, but your own aunt told us that. So the bottom line in that situation is that, Amber, you pay the bill and you start telling the truth.
When my mother's first action after this all began was to say, I want my will back, I knew what she was trying to do, and that was just another manipulation. And I didn't fall for it, gave it back to her immediately. So then I just sent her a text and said, just a heads up, I'm going to need my phone back. At first, I did say I would give her to the 3rd of the month because that was the day that she had paid me for the phone, even though she had gotten the service the 14th the month before. And so I was going to give her till the 3rd to get another phone and, get it all together and stuff. And then I guess the human part of me kicked in a little bit, the hurt part, the petty part. We all have a little bit of that in us at times. And I think that peaked its head because I can't get over the fact that my mother wanted my sister to find out after she was dead what she had done behind her back. And the fact that even after my sister and Amber found out this information, the fact that they still are kind of doing what they're doing and oh, that's okay that she did that, because their whole goal is the house.
Oh, so, yeah, they're probably very happy with your decision.
Yeah, Yeah, and again, I never wanted it. I never wanted it.
So this is my opinion. First of all, Amber doesn't care what her grandma does to her mommy because Amber already knows she's not going to get anything in the will. Amber knows the true state of the relationship she has with her grandma. Her grandma, in my personal opinion, I always felt this, but now this has been exacerbated by what Tammy has said. I don't think her grandma likes her very much. She's clearly talking behind the scenes about her. And also, they even got into a fight on Amber's birthday. Let's just think about this. As a grandparent, as a parent, is this really a good idea? Now, I understand Amber's probably to blame. They had a good relationship. They probably wouldn't be getting into arguments. Who gets into an argument with their grandchild or their child on the birthday? Like, I'm sure Amber did something, but the point is they don't have a good relationship. To answer Tammy's question, why does Amber not care? Amber knows she's not getting anything from the will, and deeper than that, Amber only cares about people that can do something for her. The only person here that can do something for her is mommy. Grandma is not leaving you anything, or even if she is, Amber is very well aware of the relationship she has with her grandma. She may have been lying about it for a long time on YouTube, but Pookie, we know. As far as Christine, why is it that Amber's mommy doesn't care? Because Amber's mommy is going along with the flow. Maybe she's thinking that she's going to go now that she's found out and change the will. Who cares? What I don't understand is, why does it matter why Christine is exhibiting this behavior? She's just going along with the flow because she probably doesn't want to stop talking to her mom. Her mom is ill. It doesn't really matter. Not everyone will behave the same way in the situation. Tammy is behaving a certain way in the situation because she feels it's best. Also, you have to understand something. You ever heard of this phrase, you get more flies with Kermit? No. You get more honey with flies. You understand what I'm saying? The nicer you are to somebody, remember when I told you that being nice is not a personality trait, but a tactic to get what you want? Some people may feel, I'm not saying Christine is doing this. Honestly, this is the most boring thing ever. Who cares why Christine is doing what she's doing? Spill more tea on Amber. Bottom line is, some people feel like the more nicer they are to somebody, maybe somebody will change their will. Yeah, it's business as usual for Christine and Amber.
And that's another thing. When it was a life insurance kind of thing, I told them whatever I got from it, I would just make a lump sum down on my house that I'm paying. So I really just was never ever concerned about the details. Apparently, they were a lot more than I even could imagine at that time. But that is why I made the abrupt decision. The very next day, I ended up suspending my mom's phone line, and the petty part of that, I could put myself in my sister's place ever since this happened, when it got changed, how that would feel right after losing our mother to have to deal with that blow. And the fact that my mom wanted my sister to even feel any level of that made the petty part come out for me. So I wanted my mom to feel what I think would be like.
Okay, she wanted her mother to feel as bad as she was going to make Christine feel when Christine was going to wake up one day, her mother wasn't going to be there, and then she was going to find, surprise, you're not getting what you think you're getting in the will. Do I think what grandma did was wrong? Yes, I do. Could it possibly, in my opinion, not a fact, be marked by what Christine did to grandma, why she was incarcerated? Sure. 100%. Have you ever thought about people hold grudges even when they're parents? This is family stuff. Yes, I 100% think that what grandma did was not right. And I can understand what Tammy is saying. Here's the thing. Tammy is already saying that she never wants anything more to do with Amber, with Christine, with the mother, right? With her mother, meaning the grandma. So yeah, she did something petty. She was originally getting her a new phone and did get her a new phone. That's why the other phone was suspended. But now she wanted her to feel the pain that Christine was going to feel. How about this? How about Amberlynn Reid pays her grandma's bill for the rest of her life?
I'm like, what the heck is in common with these three women in my life that would add to this equation? Because it just seems so, it gets very overwhelming in my brain sometimes trying to just understand. And it comes down to one word for me, and I never thought I would say this, but it's jealousy. It's misplaced jealousy, but it is. My mom is jealous of me and has said it out of her own mouth. She has said things like, And this is when I constantly showed up for Amber when no other person gave her videos. I text with her. I just tried for years and years, as you guys have started to see and will continue to see.
Look, if grandma told you that she's jealous of you, this is just really sad. It's just sad. Did you ever think that maybe Amber's jealous of you? Did you ever think that maybe somebody else in your family is jealous of you? Here's the problem, okay? The problem is she starts talking about how she's the only one that was there for Amber, watching her video, texting with her. Mommy didn't care about Amber. What a big surprise. Okay, Tammy. She tried using you, but she can't use you to be her free Uber, so she doesn't care about you. Tammy, if I could say one thing to you, it's really simple. Amberlynn Reid is a user, a manipulator, and a deceiver. She needs to use people. There is a older voice note that her friend Alexis released where Amber says pretty much that she would only be friends with somebody who does something for her. Bottom line is, Tammy, you can't do anything for her because she needs a free Uber. Mommy can. And as far as grandma being jealous, I think you're on the right path of just separating yourself from a toxic family environment.
My mom would say things like, you're already the best daughter, the best wife, the best mother, the best sister. You don't have to be the best auntie too, was her exact words.
Wonderful. So perhaps, in my opinion, not a fact, Tammy is the favored daughter over Christine. What a shocker. Okay, here's what I think. I do believe that this is like really unhealthy to tell your children, oh, you're my favorite in a different way. That's what she's saying to Tammy. You're the best sister. You're the best daughter. I guess Christine isn't, right? Okay, here's the thing. I think that this is just an opinion, not a fact. It is what I believe. I'm 100 on what I'm saying. I believe what I'm saying is true, but it's not a fact. It's an opinion. It could be that, because from what I'm hearing for a while now, it could be that the grandma is playing Christine versus Tammy, and maybe who knows what she's telling Christine. Could be telling Amber's mommy the same thing. It's obvious that there is so much family drama. It's a good thing that you, Pookie Lynn Reid, Amber decided to lie about her family, trash her family, and then do things badly to them behind the scenes and think that no one was going to expose her. I always say this, and it's time. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Amber, is this everything you thought it would be? Are you really happy that you trashed your family for 10 years, blackmailed your aunt, and now she's exposing you on the internet? Let us know in the dislikes down below.
I didn't really take it at face value there. It's like she gets jealous over all the things that I do for my family. Because the difference is I not only show up, I suit up. You know what I mean? I'm present. And I buy a lot of their needs based on love, not for show. My mom will buy one thing one time and be like, well, remember that time I bought them that dress? Oh. Okay, they were 8. They're 19 now. Something like that. It's just crazy stuff. So I have a relationship, and did even with the other daughter that we don't talk about off and on, she's always been my troubled person. We always have like a kid that you just have problems with. I don't know if you guys know, but my mom did not raise me or my sister. I have no childhood memories with my mom in my home. Not one. I've never had a mom and a dad. I called my dad my super mom. He got the Mother's Day gifts, Many years my mom was troubled, and there would be long periods of time where I wouldn't know where she was, and I would have to call my grandparents. Have you heard from them? Sometimes they had, sometimes they hadn't.
Okay, so obviously this is personal family drama. The main thing I want to get across is I just want everybody to be clear on this. Amber, none of this would be public. I'm sure you don't want this to be public. I'm sure maybe mommy doesn't want this to be public. None of this would be public right now if Hans Christian Pookie Reid hadn't trashed her parents on the internet for 10 plus years, hadn't betrayed her aunt in private, hadn't blackmailed her, hadn't lied to her for years, and hadn't demanded that when she did move to Oklahoma, that she's only allowed to see Amber with mommy present. Amber, you caused for all of this to be public. What's happening in the family is not at all like Amber's fault to a certain point. Certain things are Amber's fault, but obviously not what Tammy is saying now. Like what we just heard, what we just consumed, that's not Amber's fault. But it is Amber's fault that it's all public now. Had you not opened the door for this, it wouldn't be public. See, Amber, how actions years ago lead you to today? Do you think you can be a better person in the future?
I moved in with my mom for the first time at 14. My dad had made some really big mistakes and came and seen me in Florida. She stayed a weekend. When I decided to move away from Florida, which that's a bigger picture, another story, I came to Oklahoma in 98 because my mom wanted to build our relationship after her not being a mom all this time. The other ones, I don't rub it in her face. I don't bash her. I don't put her down. In fact, I say, thank you for the apology, Mom, and it's okay. You know, none of us are perfect. We all try our best. And, you know, we're here now, so let's just enjoy life now. That's the kind of mentality I had. I've never played victim like Amber does because of her childhood. And that just makes the huge difference in us. And I think that adds to the jealousy that I have been able to do that. I've been able to go to 16 years of counseling, level of support that I tried to offer and show her the whole way. She was there the whole way, but she continued to put it down, really, every chance she got.
Jealousy is an interesting concept that you bring up because it brings me back to when you and Amber were talking and she said to you that you're actually the one who is jealous because she and her mom have such a good relationship. So it's just interesting to hear.
There's no jealousy there. It's what I always wanted. That's not jealousy. I am hurt. Like I said, when we got to the end of the road, I was left there and they kind of drove off kind of thing. You know, that's not what I had planned all this time.
First of all, I think the reason that Tammy is exposing all these things about her own mother and talking about her mother, I don't think that Tammy wanted to come on here and just talk about how her mother wasn't there for her, how the person that took care of her was her father and her mother wasn't even in her life the first 14 years. I don't think that Tammy wanted to do this. I think that Amber has forced her hand by saying that Tammy is such a bad daughter by disconnecting the phone. See how Amber's actions have consequences? I don't think Tammy would have come on here and said that. As far as Tammy being jealous of Christine and Amber, you're jealous of every single reaction channel and every single woman that you've ever met. You know how I know that? Because you either lie about the women that you meet and say that all of them are like the mammogram technician is saying that you're beautiful. The ultrasound technician is wanting to be your bestie and subscribe to your channel. All the reaction channels are bad, but you're buying their information. Amber, get some help. And you are facilitating their information. I don't care if money doesn't exchange hands. You are getting reaction channels information out from somewhere. So my thing is, how dare you and your mom believe that Tammy is jealous of your friendship? Don't worry, Christine. The friendship is temporary. As soon as Christine can't take Amber anywhere, let's say her car breaks, Pookie's gonna get a different for Uber. Amber, do you really believe that Tammy is jealous of you and your mom's relationship when you personify jealousy?
So there's not jealousy. It's more hurt. It's just, oh my God. But then understanding why would they not want me around makes more sense now.
Yeah, and you know what? Do you have anything to add to that thing where Amber said that she couldn't spend time with you unless it was with your sister in attendance as well? Like, what did she think was going to happen? Like, you were going to do something, or?
Yeah, it's just another excuse because number one, at that point, I've known her better than her mom. We had a constant relationship, you know what I mean? If anyone that she should have felt comfortable with, it would have been me. And especially, you know, to meet the family after this, it's not like I was a stranger at that point. You know what I mean? Maybe my kids and my grandkids, I get it. But that's not what we were talking about, you know? So she just used that. And again, more as I just I don't think she wanted me to know her real life. Mm-hmm. How she acts, what she does, because she knows I went to Kiwi years ago.
That is exactly it. That's why Amber wouldn't let Tammy meet any of her girlfriends, that she only met Wifey for a second, that she kept everybody away from you. Obviously, she knew that you exposed her before, and Amber knows that she's hiding so much. Amberlynn Reid is hiding a lot. I've told you that for years, and it's been proven true. Amber is hiding almost everything in her life. What she is showing is just a facade. It's all smoke and mirrors. She only needs to add BS to her narrative, and she is hiding her real life. Why didn't she want Tammy there? She didn't want Tammy to know the real her because she does know that Tammy would do just this. But too late, Pookie. You already blackmailed her and lied to her for years, even before you became famous. Or shall I say infamous?
So that has to stay in her mind somewhere, that I'm capable of doing it again. And then here we go. Fast forward, here I am. So it wasn't, probably a bad decision on her. But,
Yeah.
She could have changed too and been a better person. And then you wouldn't worry about, other people doing that. Why can't you just be a good human,
Yeah, and she keeps saying over and over again, "Oh, what did you do? What did I do to you in the last 2 years? What did I do?" If somebody told me, that I couldn't spend time with them unless it was being supervised with another, I wouldn't want to have a relationship with them.
This goes hand in hand with what we just talked about. It's obvious now. She probably needed her mother to supervise her with Tammy because she needed a witness. So what I'm trying to say is, let's say Tammy would go and expose her and say, well, Amber said this and this, did this and this. Amber could go back and say, no, my mom was there. She was with us every single time we hung out. And here's what really happened. Also, Amber likes to use her mom as like some power move in some game that she's already lost like years ago. So she's like, well, my mom will tell you. I don't trust your mom. I just think that your mother would definitely lie for you. She would say anything at this point. That's my personal opinion, not a fact. And I think that you saying, well, because Amber always says, well, my mom can verify my mom. I don't care what your mom thinks, but you think that we are gullible enough to be like, well, pathological deceiver told us her mommy vouches for her. Yes, I think she needed to be supervised because she knew that Tammy would eventually expose her. She needed mommy to verify this hadn't happened. The best part is she's exposing you for what you did before that. Should have had your mommy on standby back then.
Yeah.
So now she's saying, oh, well, I tried reaching out. She set the tone when she said, no, it has to be supervised with your sister.
Yeah, and mind you, that was in the beginning of October, right, when she first came to Oklahoma City. And then I didn't get to see her till November, so Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, she had already been there, at least a month to a month and a half. And the fact that I didn't get to see her except that first night that she got here when I got to see her girlfriend the one and only time, that just hurt. I was like, I don't understand why. And then I would hear through my mom, oh, well, her and her mom went to the museum today. Her and her mom did this. And I'm just like, why wouldn't they invite me? That's just so weird.
She doesn't trust you because of what you did in the past, Tammy. And she doesn't want to invite you because she has no use for you. She cannot use you. You can do nothing for her. She doesn't need money and she already has a free Uber. The issue is for Amber is that the biggest thing is for the people that are in her private life to go and expose and, to expose her to Reddit, to expose her to Kiwi Farms, to expose her everywhere and be on the side of the haters, the bill payers, the people that are actually correct. So the issue is that Tammy already did the worst thing in the world in the past. So that's why she doesn't want to invite you. Amber would have only invited you. I guarantee you that all of this would have gone out the window if Aunt Tammy had said, anytime, Amber, your mom can't take you somewhere, I'll drive you. If you had said that, Tammy, you would have been on her wonderful list again.
It wasn't jealousy. I just didn't want to be totally kicked to the curb. And that's what happened.
Right.
And then the cruising, I think, is another aspect that she's jealous of. I cruise a lot. Snowflake reading some story she wrote. It's all based on a cruise ship. I was just like, oh, wow. But I think that's just another thing because she obviously can't do those things.
So this is something that I was saying earlier. Amber is jealous of everybody. Don't worry, Aunt Tammy, it's not just you. By the way, the sad part is Amber can afford to go to some island. She can afford to go on a beach. It's just that she needs somebody to come with her and all this other stuff. And I don't know, Amber, you know what? I really don't care if you're jealous of everybody because deep down inside, I only care about how you treat other people, okay? You could be jealous of Aunt Tammy because she's going on vacations and going on cruise ships. And what are we hearing again about Amber telling somebody else's story? Amber likes to steal other people's stories and pass it off as her own. For example, how she stole Casey's story, how she stole Beck's story.
that's come up. I got a call from, this person sent this to this person sent this, and then I get a call, and yada yada, and I also got a text about Amber saying I was doxing her. And I kind of knew what doxing was from obviously being around on YouTube a little, but I wanted to make sure I understood what doxing meant. So, of course, look it up, and I'm like, what is she talking about? Like, what? And then and correct me if I'm wrong, but the doxing part on my thing is just confirming that she doesn't need to take an elevator down to take Twinkie outside or to get DoorDash, and confirming that she lives on the first floor.
Yeah.
That's not really doxing because, number one, it's on video on her things, the window right behind her, ground level. And there's another video where my sister has knocked on her window. So it's not really saying information that's not already out there. Apartments have that many floors, then I can see it getting a little messy. But to say someone lives on a ground floor, I think all apartments have a ground floor.
People have also suggested that perhaps she's in an disability compliant apartment, because we do notice things like the lowered countertops and the bar in her bathroom and things like that.
She is in an apartment in that kind of situation. Of course, she didn't ask for it. That's what she got. That's not what she ordered.
Oh, they did put her in like a disability compliant one?
I guess she would consider it, as far as I know, yeah. With everything that you've said and what I've seen, I'd say yes.
Okay, we already talked about this before. First of all, no, Tammy did not dox Amber. Amber has expressed herself that she lives on the ground floor. She has always shown the ground floor in Kentucky, and she's showing it now. You kind of exposed yourself, girl, by saying that your mom was knocking on your window. How could she knock on your window if you're not on the ground floor? Amber, there's nothing wrong with living on the ground floor. There's nothing wrong. It's totally understandable. If her elevator breaks, she needs to be on the ground floor. What is the big deal? No judgment here. Don't care. Okay? Amber, you're the one making the big deal about this, and you were definitely not doxxed. Doxing is giving out your street name, your apartment number, your telephone number. None of that was given out. You've doxed so many people, Amber, okay? You've doxed urology offices. You've doxed other people. As far as what Jordy's talking about and Tammy confirming it, okay. Amber always says that this is not true. Yet another lie from Hans Christian Pookie Reid. Everybody wonders, why do I call her Hans Christian Pookie Reid? She likes to tell fairy tales like Hans Christian Andersen. Anyways, Amber, whenever asked about this topic that Jordy and Tammy are talking about, she says, oh, no, I don't have that type of apartment. Amber, why lie?
Saying very loosely, I wouldn't listen.
I have no fear.
Yeah, there was a time where someone talked about one of her doctors, and it was like a public figure, and she said, "Oh my God, you doxed my doctor."
Yeah.
I don't think she knows what that means.
Yeah.
I think somebody took a picture of jicking Twinkie one time, and she said that was doxing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess she can show and tell everything under the sun, but anyone that says anything against her or about her is another story. Oh, let me touch on something before I forget. This little picture that she's trying to portray since this has happened with her relationship with her and my mom. Now, I have not seen or heard or talked to any of them, right? But I know it is just another show because I know my mom. I know her feelings towards Amber. And the whole time, let's just go the last year. Because that's when really things started where I was seeing documented proof of my mom's illness. Never called and texted her to check on her. Wouldn't answer my mom's text over and over and over again. Phone calls. My mom would talk to my sister about it. It was a big, major ordeal. So how do you go from that? And when she said, "Oh, when I hang out with my grandma," now I can't give you an exact number, but I would say 10 to 15 times in 2 years. It's not really like that much, and it would be them coming over, maybe playing a game, and then it's always food and bingo.
She made it seem
Amber's
like she was
always
spending
in a hurry to leave to go get the food and bingo.
Oh, it was like, okay, we have to go spend time with grandma, and the only reason why she would go through with that is because she got food after.
Absolutely. And the fact also, I think a big part is that there's no way she could use the bathroom at my mom's house. So I've always wondered how that worked out.
Surprise, surprise. Amber Reid has been lying about how many times she's seen her grandma since being in Oklahoma, and just in general, how long they hang out. She makes it sound in all of her videos that her mom, and her grandma spend the entire day together and spend thousands and thousands of hours together. She constantly makes it sound like they spend the entire day together. And you can see what Tammy is saying, that they go over there for a little bit and immediately run off for bingo and lunch. And well, Amber, I'm going to ask you again. Is this everything you thought it would be? I really hope you're enjoying this. The entirety of the internet is getting to know exactly how badly you lied about your relationship with your grandma. Here's the thing. For your grandma to have kicked you out at 18 and for you to think that we are gullible enough to think that your relationship has changed, how long did I tell you that I had a feeling about her and grandma, that what she was saying wasn't true and she didn't have the type of relationship that she was letting on that she did?
Impossible. The smallest bathroom I have ever seen in my life. The whole thing with my mom's cancer is my sister or Amber never called and checked up on her or, made sure she was okay. It's been me the whole time. So now if they are going around, it just shows more that it truly is just trying to get that house.
Oh, yeah, they want the house.
So gross to me.
Yeah, they want the house.
Gross.
All of this, that's what they're taking from it.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm sure Amber's going to love to bring up the past with my mom with cancer. My mom did lie years and years and years ago about having cancer.
There's information that no one would have ever known had Amberlynn Reid not trashed her family on the internet for years. See, Pookie. Your behavior finally has consequences. Okay, so as far as mommy over there and Pookie over there not calling grandma, not visiting grandma, even though grandma was sick all this time, and now they're being like very lovey-dovey, very loving towards grandma, because maybe they're thinking they're going to get the house. And I already told you that could happen. Here's the thing. Sometimes when a person is ill, whoever's taking care of them, they change their will and they put that person back in the will and they, bequeath everything to that person. Fine. Maybe that is what's going on. But shame on you, Amber, for not visiting your grandma and calling her and texting her and not answering her messages and all that stuff when she was ill, despite whatever's going on. Shame on you. And by the way, I know exactly what Pookie's going to do. Amberlynn Reid is going to show messages between her and grandma and prove that she messaged her back a few times. We're talking about the general long haul.
And it became a very big thing in our family when I found out that it was not true back then. She had Barrett's esophagus, which is precancerous, things that could turn into cancer. But that's not what she was saying. She was living and speaking as if she had cancer. And she told her family, friends, everybody that. She literally would tell my children, well, I don't know if I'll be here next year. Well, I don't know if I'll be here next Christmas. And it was constant. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't think there's a parent in this world that would want their kids around a woman when there's no documented proof that it was really happening. My dad, years later, ended up moving back in with me for his final time. I didn't know, but from the time he moved in, he passed within 4 months. Hospice in my home. It was one of the hardest time, I think truly the hardest time of my life. And during that time, my mom wanted to keep lying about having cancer, trying to take the focus off of my father onto her. She wanted me to put him in an old folks home, assisted place, and let him die there because it would be too much work for me to do it at home. She may have been right. It was hard, but no, I said no. And I even told her that day, well, you just remember that when it's your day, that you wanted me to put my dad in a home. Maybe I'll consider that for you.
I find it really unusual that Amber was accused of lying about this topic and that her grandma according to Tammy, was participating in a topic like that. So interesting. All of this, like, private family matters and all this other stuff could have been private if only Amber had acted differently. And you know what's amazing to me? So when Amber gets told that you trashed your family and now this is all happening to you because of how you treated people, you trashed your family, she says this: "It was my story too. It was my story too." Well, this will be your story as well, Pookie. By the way, I think it goes without saying, but I'm still going to say it. So the idea of it's my story too. So just because something happened to you and someone else doesn't mean it's appropriate to go on YouTube and expose your family, Amber. This is a result of you exposing your family.
Because what had happened is I think I started getting very, very nervous about losing both of my parents. I knew my dad was, and my mom's kept saying, but nothing to support it, no proof, And so I did the unthinkable. I did. I called her doctor because at the time I was her medical proxy, and I was as honest as I could be. And I even told them, I don't know if I'm just so afraid right now because I'm fixing to lose my dad and I may be afraid of losing my mom. I could be in so much denial right now, but I need to hear it from you guys that my mom has cancer because either I need help or she needs help, but one of us needs help in this equation. And on the Bible, they got so mad and upset because my mom even did that to me. They said they spent 45 minutes talking to my mom her last visit, telling her everything to support the fact that she did not have cancer. My mom is a hypochondriac. Talk about Googling symptoms and having the diagnosis. She is the queen. Oh. And so I had to hold that in because I was losing my dad.
What a terrible thing to do to anyone, especially your own child, when they are actually truly losing another parent. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine doing something like that to anybody. I'm speechless. You know what? At the end of the day, people make choices. There's ramifications. There's consequences. I'm sure Amber will say this never happened magazine. Amber, your lies are just like so wild to me. I'm sure, I know Amber will say this didn't happen, or she's gonna excuse her grandma or say that, Aunt Tammy, you know what's coming. If you want to know what's coming, Aunt Tammy is ruining the family. Aunt Tammy ruined the family. Right, Amber? It couldn't have been you.
And then I lost my dad on December 11th. After the holidays, I have kids. I have grandkids. You have to hold it together. And then finally, the day after Christmas, I'm like, I don't want to take this into the new year. I'm tired. And I confront my mom face to face sitting at her kitchen table. And I said, Mom, call the doctor. This is what they said. Why did you do that? And you know what she did? She yelled at me and said, "Are you happy, Tammy? Are you happy that you found out I don't have cancer?" Yelled at me. And I was like, Yes, I am. I'm sorry, but I'm mad that you lied about it. But now she really has lung cancer. Documented. I see it with my own eyes in her results, and that's when it became real. Not when she said it, when I got to see it.
Why do you think she did it? Because your dad was getting all the attention from actually having it. She had to have it too to get attention?
My mom is an extremely lonely woman. Partly because it's kind of like when you're a certain way your whole life, no one wants to think at the end of the road, right? They just want to just do what they're doing and just think at the end it's going to all be okay and they're going to just live happily ever after. And that's not the case. She's mad all the time in her voice. And I can vouch for that. That's not always true, but she does come across that way. And that's something she's battled with her whole life. And so that plays a part. She don't have a lot of friends.
Okay, so Tammy's about to say that grandma has been in relationships where she's not really friendly. Sounds like Hans Christian Pookie Reid being accused. Pookie Reid was accused of, faking it. Amber has so many friends, so does grandma. I mean, now we know who you take after.
No compassion. No one that sits with my mom and watches a show. does anything. Still to this day, well, it depends what she wants to call him from day to day based on his actions. But her caretaker, her live-in roommate, her ex-boyfriend, current boyfriend, I don't know what title he wears today, but he still lives in the house and has, 12 years, I think, something. He's 99% of the time out in the garage because he can't stand to be around my mom.
Oh.
Her ex-husband did the same thing, same garage. I mean, it's just weird. So she's a very lonely person, and she wants the attention. That's why she does all the medical stuff. And that's, okay, so I didn't talk to my mom for about 2 years after that happened. I was devastated. And
what year was this?
about 15 years ago.
Okay, so like 2010?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just sitting here and listening like everybody else, probably consuming this video, and I'm thinking to myself, would I ever go on the internet and say this about my family, even if it was true? The answer from me personally, definitely no. I wouldn't, no matter what happened. But I want you to look at it in a different way, because I'm sure that there's got to be a whole bunch of people that are thinking what I'm thinking right now, okay? But this is what I think could have happened in this situation. I'm not saying it did, but this is a very real possibility. Sometimes people are pushed to their limits, to their brink, to like the edge, where they are pushed to such an emotional level where they feel that they need to heal and they need to say all these things out loud to people that will, number one, believe them and listen to them. Because maybe she hasn't been listened to and taken seriously for a very long time. So maybe this is like a cathartic experience. And Tammy did say that she does feel better getting all of this out. Obviously, Amberlynn Reid has lied about her relationship with her grandma and all the other amazing things about grandma. You've lied about Pookie Lynn Reid. So this is the result of your lies. And you know what? Here's the thing. Hindsight is Kermit, but the point is, why not go back, if you're Amber, and delete all of the videos about your family? It was my story too. Well, now that it's your story too, what are you going to say? I imagine Pookie Lynn Reid coming on her channel and being like, oh, can you imagine how terrible my aunt is? This was what she's going to say. Can you imagine that she would say these things about an elderly woman about my grandma? Well, you trashed your parents for 10 years.
And then my sister, she did play a huge part of getting me and my mom talking again. My sister trying to use her newfound spirituality of forgiveness, and we only got one mom, and blah, 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 and, just all this stuff. And, everyone says that, oh, you only got one mom, and it makes me try again and again. I get it. Yeah, we only got one mom, but sometimes it's just not enough,
It's really interesting to hear you say that she has the tendency to be Googling all of her symptoms and diagnosing herself. And because all the while you were saying that, I was thinking, I know somebody like that.
Oh, yeah, because it's definitely similar. And, Amber picking up on people's storylines and traumas. Man, have I seen that so much over the last few days. Somebody be so calculated and manipulative. And
yeah, if you're going to be a liar and you're going to you have to be smart.
Yeah, she's so bad at it. I remember seeing, I don't know if I was watching her or a reaction, but I remember her on live saying, I'll be right back. I got to let I thought she had said dogs. I even questioned, like, dogs. They're trying to one dog. But anyway, and then, making it like she had to go down the elevator. But the length of time that she was gone was like, it seemed to me like a minute. And I'm thinking, okay, first of all, she didn't go down in an elevator. And if she did, it would take a lot longer to go down in an elevator and take your dog out and then come back up. I was just like, she doesn't even try to lie good anymore.
Watching here now, Amberlynn is terrified to take blood pressure medicine. Or where she got that from.
I was just about to say how she steals people's things and stuff. Out of anybody in our family, that would describe me. And every member in my family would attest to that. I am the kind of person that if, like, oh, I have a headache. And they'll be like, oh, it's escalated. It's really at a peak. Whew, my head hurts. most people at that point would take some ibuprofen or some Tylenol, right? I'll keep it, and then it'll take someone to say, well, why don't you take something? I'll be like, well, I'm going to see if it's going to pass that.
So yes, Amber is a manipulator. We know that. And Tammy was talking about how in order to manipulate, you have to have quite a bit of things going on. That Amber, I think that Amber manipulates who she can for as long as she can. I think that she seeks out certain people that she can manipulate. And I think that she, unfortunately, is manipulating a certain facet of her audience, but not the majority at all. Because she's a rudimentary manipulator, but sometimes it works on some people. As far as her stealing other people's stories, of course she has, as we have discussed. Her emulating Aunt Tammy, as like Aunt Tammy doesn't want to take pills, Amber doesn't want to take pills. Pookie, I hope you're enjoying this, because you obviously have gotten the attention that you ordered.
Naturally. I only take things when I like they say if I take medicine, I'm hurting. Come from, it would be closer to coming from my storyline rather than her own, because I've never seen evidence of it until recent from her. So I think it's just another, and Amber loves to talk about things that like nobody else would kind of know that there's an underlying cut. She does it a lot. Like, have you noticed a lot of the anxiety talk right now, right? A lot of it about feeling like she's her big fear of 100% me. That is my story. That is not her story. I have Facebook posts that you could go back and read about my anxiety in a car.
So Amber has constantly stolen other people's stories before and passed it off as her own. I've already discussed that. This is nothing new. It's just sad that Amber can't understand, in my opinion, that when you're not being your authentic self, the audience can tell. Amber admits that she wears a mask on the internet. I think you wear a mask with everyone that isn't a free Uber. It's very odd that you would want your audience to think that you have issues that you don't and get them from somebody else. Like, this is not like collecting Pokemon cards. This is real life. Thoughts, comments, dislikes, leave them in the dislikes down below. Thank you all so very much for watching today. I really, really appreciate it. You could check out Jordy's video, link down below. Check out this other video that's popping up here on a similar topic. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.